morning.
Thank you. Welcome to Hackney.
Thank you very much.
It's a bit like actually not far off Philly, I don't think.
No, I think it's the same.
Come through.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to my home.
It's beautiful.
Have
Thank
a
you.
seat.
I love this. I love it.
To you, she's an Emmy-nominated talk show host, an actress who starred in Queens and the Barbershop film franchise. She's a mother, a songwriter, and formidable force in the music industry. But to me, she is the first rapper I was ever absolutely obsessed with in my life. So much so that I begged my mum to take me for paw-print tattoos. She wouldn't sign the consent form. I was devastated. So when I finally met her and realised how stunningly beautiful she was, I asked her who her facialist was. I went to the facialist. Turns out the facialist is really good, but I'm not as beautiful as her. And I'm devastated. You can't just pay to look this good. It's the gorgeous woman, icon, and now friend, I hope, Eve.
Oh my God, you are hilarious. Because I want to go see your facialist. We talked about this. We'll talk more off. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having me.
In your beautiful home.
In this crazy house.
I love it.
All my chairs are completely covered in paint.
It's
so
great.
I apologise for
I have the same. So don't worry.
Yeah, I just felt like, oh no, she's going to think they're dirty.
Girl, please. Everything in my house is dirty because of the kids. So it's fine. It's fine.
How old were you when you came into the industry?
Probably, I had my first record deal when I turned 18.
So young.
17, 18, so super young.
And that's like a time when you're quite impressionable.
Yeah, trying to figure it out. I had my first album came out when I was about to turn 21.
And all these men are just telling you what you need to do and what you need to say and how you need to look.
Well,
and have you got a boyfriend?
And have you got a boyfriend? Yeah, on top of that. But, I will say this. When I say men, and I like to always be clear about this, like I come from a crew of Ruff Ryders were my brothers.
Mm-hmm.
They took care of me. It was the execs. It was like those guys in the boardroom. Like you said, those white men who don't really know, who are aging, who are not close to the street, all we are to them is a commodity, really.
A moneymaker.
A moneymaker.
Yeah.
And it became, and it's not just the white, actually it's not just them either. It's like the producers. It was those rooms that I would go into especially once my career started going in a different place. And then I would go into these rooms without the Ruff Ryders. Because while I was with them,
you were safe.
I was safe.
Yeah.
But without them, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
And what what happened then in that?
That was just the question, again, like, don't have a boyfriend, or, if I suggest a certain thing, oh, well, I don't think we should do that. Or they would try to suggest certain things to me. I remember one time somebody said to me, oh, you should wear a uniform. You should start wearing uniforms. And I was like, are you smoking more crack? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, just weird, crazy stuff. And it just got bad. And it honestly, it got to the point where, because I think I was pushing back so much, that when I would do songs, they would give it to other artists, or they just wouldn't support the record at radio. Like, it was just so much that I was just like, wow.
It's been decided.
Yeah.
I had a meeting once in the States with my manager is male.
Yeah.
And the record exec looked at my manager and went, you really need to control your artist. And I was sitting there at the table and I was like, I just pushed the chair out and left the restaurant.
That just gave me chills.
It was in New York. I just hailed the cab and left. I was like,
wow.
I've got everything I need to know now.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
No, that's insane. That's insane. But not surprising, sadly.
No, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Do you think women are more likely to be called crazy than men?
Yes. Angry, crazy.
But that's like minimizing our feelings.
Oh, it's so horrible. To this day, I will get crazy if someone's like, oh, you're so like, or aggressive. That word, I can't take it. Because first of all, I'm loud. I was born loud. I'm a loud person. When I get emotional, my arms flail. It is really just who I am. And if I'm really passionate, like most of us, then yeah, I might get emotional or whatever. But I hate when someone, like you said, minimizes it and says like, why are you being so like, don't be aggressive, or yeah, I hate, or why you acting crazy.
I have
I
that as well. And I
hate
think
that.
the anger thing as well, specifically with people who are dealing with Black females,
Oh, yeah.
is so abominable, because it's like, what? You're minimizing my feelings because you've like racially profiled me to something. And with me, because I do it, because and then they're like, oh, she's Spanish. You know she's Spanish. You know she's half Spanish.
God.
She's
So then they're
Latin.
like, oh, she's Latin, so she's
Latin.
feisty, she's fiery.
But it's like, oh, I didn't know that about her. That explains it. It's like, no, that's not what explains it.
Yeah.
The fact that I'm angry about the thing is
Explains
genuine.
It's genuine.
Yeah.
Like literally. Yeah, it's horrible.
I hear you. And that then makes you crazier, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you become
then I blow up.
The thing that you're being told you are. And you're like, no, I'm not.
I'm not crazy.
I'm not fucking crazy. You said that you think Gnarls Barkley's song "Crazy" was about you. So why?
Okay, yes.
Why?
Yeah, I think I had gone through so much. I was in a really black hole for a while. It was the like industry. I think I was kind of in flux in a way. And yeah, I was living in LA. I was drinking a lot. I was going out a lot. And I think I was just losing my mind. I honestly was I thought I was really losing my mind. So I would play that song all the time, Crazy, all the time. And I really was like, I think he wrote this song about me. And I would just play it over and over, which is also not good. When you're in that place in your head and something's like affirming it. Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, it was just a hard time. Like my career wasn't where it was before. It was kind of like I was acting, but I was also still trying to do music, but the label was like, we're really not feeling you right now. And I think I was just depressed inside of the madness, inside of everything else. And then I just drank and drank and drank and partied a lot.
Would you say that when you drank, would you call yourself an alcoholic?
No. So it's funny because I never used those words like alcoholic or addiction. But I definitely had a problem. I was right there, I think. And I had a moment where I had a DUI and I had to wear one of those ankle things.
DUI?
What do you guys call it DW? You guys call it DWI?
Like a tag?
Like, no. So when you drink, when you drive and you get into an accident drunk, basically they call it a DUI, driving under the influence.
Oh, okay. So
you guys, I forget what you guys call it.
If you've been caught driving under the influence.
Yes.
So it's sort of like goes off if you're in the car? Or
no.
what?
Okay. So that's what it's called. What I got was the DUI. And because of the DUI, then I had to wear the thing.
When does it alert?
If they feel, it was such a weird thing. It monitors your body temperature, and it can tell from your sweat, like if you've had alcohol. So even when I got the monitor put on,
was that in the States?
This was in LA. And even when I got the monitor put on, I used to have to go see this guy. It was almost like being on parole in a way.
Yeah. That's why I said a tag, because it sounds like if you have an offense that you're being tagged.
Yeah. No, it's insane. And he called me one day and was like, what, he was like, I can tell you're using, he's like, whatever you're using, your body wash or your lotion has some sort of alcohol in it. He was like, I can tell you're not drinking, but it's gone up. Like your levels have gone up. So whatever that is, you have to stop using it, use something. Like it's so insane. And I had to wear that for 56 days.
Oh my God.
But
that's enough to drive anyone crazy.
But you know what? Weirdly enough, the anklet made me sane again, because I couldn't remember a time I hadn't drank. So that 56 days actually was the time that made me sane, because I was able to sit with like my emotions and understand why I was drinking so much and why I wanted to numb myself so much. So really, the anklet made me normal. Yeah, made me face it. Yeah.
So do you think alcohol added to your craziness? Did it
100%.
make you behave crazier?
Yeah, definitely. I think I used it to completely numb and not feel anything. Like, I just didn't want to think about anything. I didn't want to really be responsible for the feelings that I was feeling. And it just became a cycle of like, because I was drinking, then I'd wake up hungover. But then being hungover is the worst shit in the world. So then you drink again so you could get over the hangover. Like, it was just so bad. And it does make you, yes, it makes you crazy. It makes you crazy because you wind up, it's that old cliche of like trying to do, what is it, doing the same thing and looking for a different result or whatever. And that's what I was doing. Like, okay, well, if I drink today, but I won't drink as much as I did yesterday, maybe I'll feel better tomorrow. That's not how it works. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that the normal / non-crazy thing to do was face the problems you were avoiding.
Yeah.
And how did you do that? Did you go therapy, or did you change your mindset in the industry?
Yeah, I definitely, I was court appointed. I had to go to AA, but the guy came to my house because it was LA.
Yeah.
Because it's LA. So I had a dude that came to my house. And then I had friends who really, to this day, who use the word alcoholic. And then I started going to meetings with them and seeing stuff through their eyes definitely changed my mindset. And them talking to me definitely changed my mindset. I didn't really do talk therapy. I did other stuff like healing, and because I am into all that, like Reiki and craniosacral, and I'm into all that stuff. So I did do that kind of stuff. I just wasn't ready to talk yet. I still wasn't ready to talk.
How close to the edge have you been in your life of between sanity and insanity?
Yeah.
And what did you learn from that moment?
I would say that closest time probably was right before my DUI, like before I got into that accident, the car accident, because I was drinking, but I was also like taking Xanax on top of the drinking. So I was really trying to be just numb. Like, I was just like, and that's crazy. Like, that is something you really should not be doing. And I was also trying to get skinny for videos. So like, when I got my DUI, I wasn't that drunk. I was on diet pills. Like, so
which had speed in them, don't they?
So it was like I was on diet pills, and it was just such a bad time. It was so ridiculous. And that's why I say, like, the accident, that little anklet definitely helped me. I don't know if you believe in this, I'm sure you probably do, but like, the universe will send you little whispers. Then it'll send you like a sign. Then it'll send you a parade. And then finally it'll punch you in the fucking face. And if I didn't get punched in the face with that accident, I don't know how much further I would have gone.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel like the insanity, the madness was all situations that were put on you, and then they called you mad.
Oh, yeah.
Or you felt mad. But in reality, the madness was, the crazy accusations, the gaslighting.
Oh, yeah.
Like, from society in general, from the music execs, the kind of writing you off.
No, it
all
makes
of
you
that's
feel
the crazy,
nuts. No,
not
you.
Yeah. But it makes you feel like you are.
100%. And now that I'm older, I totally see it that way. Like, even the process of writing my book made me think like what you just said. Once I read it back to myself, I was like, oh.
This was crazy. No wonder I felt crazy.
Like, it was crazy. Even my co-writer, it's funny, we were talking, like, certain parts, she was like, girl, like, you really went through it. And I'm like, I guess I did. But when you're in it,
you don't realize.
You do not realize it.
I said it to someone like a couple of years ago. I had a long load of crazy things happen, one after the other consecutively. And I said to my friend, like, I feel like I'm surrounded by craziness. And they said, that's because you are. And I feel like the idea that you can get there and come back is like affirming. It's good to hear.
Like, it also made me proud of myself, which I'd never said that about myself before. Cause you just don't have time. Like, you're just living life. You're just doing your thing. And while I'm like, I know who I am. I know what I've done. And I feel grateful. I've always felt grateful, but I've never felt like, oh, like, I'm proud of you for getting through that shit. I'm proud of you for, like, no matter how dark it got, you bet on yourself. Like, you were like, fuck that. nah, I'm going to go left. You're trying to block my right, I'm going to go left. Like, so yeah, it was a crazy time.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. I'm proud of you too, girl.
Tell me a time you've been sad.
Okay. I mean, there've been many, but I would say my biggest time for me was probably trying to have my baby, because we tried for a long time to have him. And just going through like the process of IVF is so much.
How many rounds did you
We
do?
did 4. We did
Wow.
4.
Of egg collection?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, we did 4. And like, it is heart-wrenching every time. But what's makes me more sad is that if I had doctors who paid attention when I was younger before, because I always used to have painful periods, and if I had a doctor who really cared before, I probably things could have been taken care of, and I could have probably gotten pregnant naturally. So that makes me sad.
I feel like that happens a lot in medicine to women. Like,
Oh,
at
yeah.
the moment, there's this big movement about research into female cancers and
Yes.
female issues to do with fertility. And like,
Yeah.
most of science has been geared towards saving men's lives.
Yep.
And I also feel it's quite common for a woman to know what's up with her body without a scan. And I had the
100%.
same with my fertility journey, which we'd spoken about before, where I just knew very quickly after a couple of months of trying that something wasn't right.
Yep.
And I also knew that it wasn't me, and that it was my partner's.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, you can't say that. You're just blame projecting.
Isn't that
the poor
crazy?
guy.
Poor guy.
But then it was like, oh, we did a scan and it was confirmed.
Yeah.
And I do think that's quite common of like, it goes back to what we spoke about in Mad.
Yeah.
With this idea of like men telling us what we need and what we should do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sad for you that happened.
It's horrible.
I spoke to you about it anyway.
Yeah, we talked about that. And it is crazy, though. Again, like you said, it is that thing of men being like, oh, periods are supposed to be painful. And you're like, oh, well, okay. But
not that painful.
Not that painful. And to be honest, the first period I had after I got the fibroids out, I actually cried because it was the first time since I was 12 that I didn't have pain. And my doctor was like, because they're not supposed to be painful. Like, if you have pain during your period, that means something is going on. That means something's wrong. Might not be as, extreme.
Yeah.
But someone should listen to you. Like, why not listen to me? If I tell you I'm having some pain, don't tell me like, oh, then it's okay.
If you need a week off work,
give me a week
up.
off work. Yeah. Like, it's horrible. So that's probably my saddest. That ultimately ended up in happiness, thankfully. But yeah.
What do you feel like was your motivation to have children? Because it's a big question, I think, for women when I know I did. I got into the fertility treatment cycle of IVF after IVF.
Yeah.
And it became like that was my focus. At times I forgot why I really wanted children. Like, was it because society tells me that I should be a mother? Was it because of the love of your partner? Was it because you really wanted to be a mother? But what for you do you think it was?
I think it was all those, to be honest. I think it was getting to the point of like, well, one, I have 4 stepkids. So it became one of those things where it was like, oh, wow, I love them and they're amazing. I'd really love to have our union baby.
To join those families.
To join the families, and to also to like make me feel more whole within because I always say it's my Insta family, like, and I love them and they are amazing, but I definitely wanted to have like this little part of me that was in this family. And then I kind of started being like, well, maybe it's not meant for me. And that was sad, actually, because I don't think I believed it. I think I was trying to make myself deal with it in a way. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, well, maybe it's not meant for you. Like, maybe everybody's not meant to be a mom. And that actually makes me emotional thinking about that, because I actually did start thinking that, but I know I didn't believe it. I know I didn't.
But you were just trying to talk to yourself
Yeah.
like that.
Trying to like help myself through that. But then it got to the point, then I finally was like, when we really were like, okay, you know what? No, I'm meant to have a child. And I had to, I had an ectopic pregnancy years ago before I met my husband. And I never talked about it for years. Literally, only
Why
people
do you
that
think
knew.
that was?
I was working. And at that time, back in the day, it was like, I was like 24, 23. I had a TV show. I was still doing music. And my management and agents, well, actually my agents didn't know. Only my management knew, my mom and my cousin, and the dude I was having sex with. But and we made a decision like, listen, we can't talk about this. It is what it is. Take 2 weeks off, and then you got to go back to work. So I didn't talk about it for years until my book. Actually, I just put it in the book. I feel like I had to forgive myself in a way. Weirdly, even though it's like that kind of stuff happens to women all the time, but weirdly, I kind of was just like, I kind of had to talk to that baby soul in a way and be like, man, I acknowledge it to kind of open my womb. I'm in like, and I did all that stuff and was just like, you know what? I deserve to be a mom. And that's when this baby came. Like, I was like, I deserve it. Why not? And it was, yeah, that was a journey too.
And your face lights up when you talk about him, so you definitely deserve to be
He's
a
my little
mum.
mama.
I think that anyone who wants to be a mum deserves to be a mum.
Yeah, we 100%.
I think that what I realised from having a baby from IVF, which is kind of quite a cathartic thing, was that I could love any child,
Yeah.
even if I didn't grow that baby in my stomach. I think before I had IVF and I was really like intent on having my own baby.
Yeah.
But growing a baby from scratch, I didn't look at a baby ever. I've never looked at either of my children and gone, I love you instantly. I
Yeah.
felt desperately like committed to looking after them.
Yeah.
But to have a baby from baby, it doesn't matter to me anymore whether it's my genetic blood or not.
Yeah.
And I feel like, so people watching this who might feel like, oh, well, I didn't or whatever. It's like, yeah, like if you want to be a mum,
Yeah, you
by
totally
hook or
can.
by crook, you can be.
100%.
It just might not be in the way you anticipated.
100%.
So can we go to a time where you've been bad or generally your feelings about the word bad?
Okay, yes. So it was funny because when I spoke to your producer, Jemima, I was like, I don't have anything. I don't know what I can say for bad because I don't really use the word. Like, I don't use it with my kid. And then I started like thinking, it's interesting. Because I just don't think it's a good word to use for kids.
It's interesting you say to like you don't use it but the word bad with your kid. Because the other day, my little 3-year-old did something. And well, I'll tell you what she did. So we're in like a swimming pool and she saw the emergency button and she thought it would be great to press it. And the alarm went off for the whole thing. And the guy in charge didn't know how to turn it off. So it went on for ages.
I love it.
And she was going, is the police going to come and take me?
Oh, Bubba.
And she was like really worried. And then I said, do you feel bad for doing it? And she said, no, I just don't like this feeling.
I love
and I was really proud of her because for a 3-year-old, I thought that was really advanced.
Yeah.
To be like, no, I'm not going to feel bad.
But I don't.
Because, and I'm proud because I'm raising girls.
Yeah.
And I speak to them a lot about this inbuilt guilt in females.
Yes.
That we are made to feel bad about so many things we do. And we're always trying to like manage people's feelings, or we feel bad and we take responsibility for how everyone feels, or we feel bad. And I was so happy that at 3 years old, she was able to say, no, I don't feel bad. I don't like the feeling. But I'm not going to feel bad.
I love that.
Because I've done it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, this doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel
good. I love that.
So I guess that's an interesting way to feel when we think about something being bad. Like when I wrote, I've got a song called Bad Woman, and it says, I'm not a good girl, I'm a bad woman. Because I kind of was rejecting the idea that we are raised as women to be good. And
Yeah.
it's just when I ask you as well about things that you're brought up with, like there are things that I was brought up to believe were bad
Yeah,
things that are
yeah.
actually helpful to me.
Tons of things.
Like
Tons of things.
Like, for example, kissing a room full of strangers
Yeah.
as a kid goodnight. I'm quite convinced now that that is not good. That feeds
Yep.
into like appeasement of male
Yes.
sexual desire
Oh yeah.
at an older age.
Oh yeah.
Like
I told my husband that as well. Like my son is very like, I mean, like I guess most toddlers, he's only 2.5, but he is very sure about the things he wants to do. There are times where I'll be like, Bubby, say hello or go give a cuddle. And he'll be like, no, I don't want to. And I'm like,
good.
okay. And I'm
Yeah.
fine with that. And my husband, on the other hand, though, is like, it's polite if you do it. I'm like, yes, it's polite maybe to say good morning, but it's not polite. He doesn't have to hug people.
You don't
He
have to
doesn't
touch
have to
people.
touch people. There doesn't have to be a cuddle. It doesn't have to be a kiss on the cheek. I 100% agree with that because yeah, we were made to do stuff like that and made to feel bad if you didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, like the uncle, like get that creepy man out of here. Why is he here? No, I'm kidding. Like,
Yeah, but it's true.
Like I don't want to kiss him. Like,
or what
ew.
about feeling bad because you didn't eat something on your plate that
Yes.
you didn't like?
Yes.
And then you get into older age and you're just eating everything. And then you've
100%.
got an eating disorder because you're just like, you
Yeah.
know, like your relationship with food's become warped.
Yeah. I mean, for me, even growing up religious in a way, like even though we weren't super religious, because my name is Eve, people used to tell me all the time, like my grandmother's Jehovah's Witness, and I would go with her to the Jehovah's Witness place, and people used to be like, why would you do that? Why would you let Adam eat the apple? Like you
Blamed you for it.
For the evil of the world. I'm like, I am a
Wow.
child. I don't know that,
Last
man.
time I checked, that was men's fault.
Yeah,
by the way.
exactly.
The evil of the world.
The evil of the world. And it is the truth. Sorry, but it's the truth. And honestly, I started thinking about that. And again, I know I'm bringing up my book again, but I talk about this in the book because there was just a lot of revelations that I used to actually think I was cursed because my name was Eve. I used to actually think that there was something wrong, something wrong with me. Why would you name me Eve, Mom? Like, it's not a good name. And as I got older, I mean, I love my name now. But when I was a kid, I really was like, it's my fault. Maybe it is my fault. And
that's like a real burden.
It was such a burden. I mean, for me, even growing up religious in a way, like even though we weren't super religious, but even just those kinds of things of like the color red was bad at my house. We didn't celebrate Christmas or birthdays or anything. There's so much.
Were your parents Jehovah's Witness?
My grandmother. So my whole family lived together, like literally me, my mom, few uncles, cousins. Like it was a big old family.
Mm.
My mom really wasn't religious. My mom had me super young, so it wasn't her thing. So I would just go with my grandmother to Jehovah's Witness. And then I was able to kind of explore like friends if I wanted to go to church or whatever. But she wasn't really religious. It was something I always kind of wanted to explore. And I would say the one thing that through all religions, I went to Catholic school, was sin. And just like, you're just scared all the damn time about doing anything. Like,
I'm unclear on sin as well because I was
Yeah.
raised by an atheist, like an extreme atheist,
Yeah.
to the point where now when people ask me my religious standpoint, I say, I think I'm a spiritual person.
Yeah.
Because it was so extreme. Like I'd be like, when I was little, I'd be like, when I'm dead, I'm going to go to heaven. And she'd be like, there's nothing.
Oh no. Jeez.
You know, like, what?
Right.
It'd be like, let me
something.
dream.
Yeah, give me something.
She'd be like, I'm afraid when you die, that's it.
Oh my, yeah, that is
You
like,
know.
yeah.
Okay, sorry, Mum.
Oh my
Like-
God. I was also one of those kids that was like the class clown. Like I did all my work, but clearly I love attention. This
We've
is why I'm in the
discussed
business.
this.
Yeah, we've discussed this.
Me too. I was like gutted when we met that we weren't in the same class.
I know. We would have been in so much trouble though. It would have been so fun, but it would have been so bad. So yeah, I think that word got used with me a lot.
Mhm.
So now as like an adult, I
You
try not to
reject
say it.
it.
I reject it. I don't say it to my kid. I don't like to say it to my kid. I try not to anyway. Like, don't be bad. Like, it makes me actually cringe in a way when I say it.
What kind of things growing up were you told that were bad that you don't think now are actually that bad?
I just thought I was funny. So I just did a lot of stuff in the class. Like it was like my job. I felt like it was my job to make kids laugh in a class. And then I always got kicked out of the class. But I always did my work. So they couldn't be that mad. I think we talked about this. They couldn't be that mad at me.
I was the same. Like, did really well at school, but I was the class clown. And they used to be like, we can't expel you because this is a failing school. We need your results to help us not get shut down.
Like, see, you need me.
So just stop doing it.
But you can't stop. I couldn't stop.
I was like, but everything is just funny.
I mean, listen, the only thing I would say that is bad that I did when I was a kid, I sold weed, but like everybody smokes weed. So whatever.
That's medicinal.
And I was actually really good at it. So I don't know. Like, I always sold out. So I don't know.
You
like,
had some good quality endo.
So I don't really know how bad that is.
Do you quite enjoy getting into trouble now?
I did. I did. But that's why I did even when I was a kid. So like I was the kind of
like
kid.
Attention.
I love attention. I kept going to school late, basically. And it was high school. And my teacher was like, if you come to school one more time late, I'm going to suspend you. And of course, I came to school late. And they were like, we're calling your mom. And I was like, please don't call my mom. Please don't call my mom. I was like, I'm going to bring my aunt to bring me back to school. And they were like, okay, as long as you bring a family member. And I hired a crackhead in the neighborhood to come and be my aunt to bring me back to school.
How much did you pay her?
It was like $10. And I got to school and the principal was like, Miss Jeffers, I know that's not your aunt. And I was like, don't you talk about my aunt because she has a problem? And it was like, he was like, you need help. And when they called my mom, because my mom, and I was scared too, because my mom was pregnant with my little brother at the time. So I was like, I just don't want to bother her. And she literally was just like, I can't even be mad. Like, I don't even know who you are. Like, what? Who does this? And I got in trouble, but I didn't really get in trouble because my mom was just like, you need help. Like, you need
It's actually
help.
Quite entrepreneurial.
Thank
I think
you.
like,
I thought
this is why you're the businesswoman you are today.
I said, listen, Mom, I didn't want to bother you. You're pregnant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
like,
showed empathy.
I showed empathy. Thank you.
I remember growing up as well, I used to enjoy being in trouble so much that even if I didn't do the thing, if we saw people being chased by police, we would run as well. Like, we'd be like, hey, someone's getting chased by feds. And then we'd all just start running. And the police would catch you and you'd be cracking up laughing like, who are you? And you'd be like, I don't know, I was just running. But it was like so fun.
Oh my God. And they probably used to be like, what the hell?
And you'd be like, the policeman would just be like, I've got you, this person who's not even involved. She's not even who we're looking for.
I love it.
But so we're not bad. We're just
bad.
cheeky.
It's yeah.
And attention seeking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And entrepreneurial.
Yeah. It's
so
fine.
These are new words.
These are new words. Yeah. I just said bad, but yeah, bad is not what they, I guess, taught us, tried to teach us it was supposed to be. Like, it's not a horrible thing.
Is there a word for cheeky in the US?
No, it's not. But I understand what cheeky is now having a kid. I never got it before. I never honestly got it before until having a kid. And I'm like, oh, because it's the perfect description of being in between. Like mischievous, I guess. Mischievous, yeah. I guess that's our word. It's not as cute though.
Yeah, why?
You can't be like, you're still being so mischievous. Like it's not as cute as cheeky. Yeah, yeah.
When I think about you, and there aren't like that many people in the world, I just think she's a badass.
Yeah, I like that. I can take it in that way.
So how are you a badass?
Yeah.
Because you don't give yourself compliments that easily.
I don't.
I'd like to know, like, for real.
I will say, I feel a bit better about giving myself compliments now that I've kind of sifted through some things. I think I'm badass for literally, as my name says, being like Eve means first lady. I was the first lady of the Ruff Ryders. I was one of the first female MCs to kind of do a lot of different things. And I think that kind of stuff makes me badass. Being in an industry full of dudes and still be here to be able to talk to you with sanity makes me a badass. Yeah, man. And making some of the moves that I've made and pivoting in my career makes me a badass. I think a lot of people from my era, some of them have gotten stuck. And I feel very lucky and fortunate that I haven't. Yeah, and being able to kind of get through the hard shit makes me a badass. Um, yeah, and being a dope MC.
Yeah, praise you. Oh, to end on a positive.
Yes.
Now we've heard how badass you are. We want a double positive.
Yeah.
I want to know what makes you glad.
Oh my God. I mean, definitely going back to my kid. Honestly, that's it. I mean, I've had such an amazing in my life. I mean, there's so many things. I honestly do truly feel so grateful to be where I'm from. I'm from Philly. My mom had me at 17. Like, even I walk around the streets now and sometimes I wake up and I'm like, damn, I live in London. I'm this girl from Philly. Like, I'm just truly appreciative and happy about every moment. Because of all the shit that I went through and put myself through. And yeah, having my kid is like the best thing in the world. It makes me extremely happy and glad to be able to see what life is going to be through his eyes.
Yeah, you get back to the simple.
Yeah, it's so nice. It's so nice. I think a lot of, again, being in the business, I missed a lot of family. You sacrifice so much stuff, friends, family, all that stuff that actually means the most. I didn't do a lot of that. And now that is the biggest thing for me. It's huge. And it's a nice thing to be able to be like, nah, I gotta do this with my kid. Or nah, I gotta get back to my kid. It's the best.
The best alibi as
It's the
well
best
when
alibi.
you don't want to go out.
It's the best.
Just like the child.
The child
Suffering. Has a fever.
I know, because nobody can say shit. It's great.
People are like, cowpole?
Oh no, but cowpoles, sometimes they need mommy's cuddles.
They do. Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy for you. And you're such a legend. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I was an admirer as a kid and I still am.
Same. I am exactly the same. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Honestly, I want to do it with the kids' play day.
Yes, definitely.
Properly, for real, without cameras.
Without cameras.
Covered in food stains.
Yes.
Talking with our mouths open.
Perfect.
All of that.
See you. Thank you.
I adore you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Sting. Bye.
Bye, gorgeous. I just went with a Ruff Ryder.